Hey guys, it's me, the Lost Rider, and we're back. It's still the same day. Literally like 30 seconds later. Um, today I am reviewing The Body by Stephen King. If you can't see that. I don't edit my videos, so prepare for some awkwardness. Anyway, so Stephen King is one of my favorite authors that I've read since like high school. Something just popped up. So oh my god, hold on. Okay, I'm just not gonna mess with it. My computer keeps singing, and I don't know if you can hear it in the video. So, anyways, Stephen King has been a favorite of mine since middle school or high school. I can't really remember. I just remember reading Duma Key, and I was like obsessed. Duma Key was just it was a starter. It's totally how I found him. And then I read The Outsider when it came out, and I was just hooked like that. So I had never read The Body. If you don't know what The Body is, it's the book that they straight ripped Stand By Me from. If you haven't watched Stand By Me, I recommend, well, obviously I'm going to recommend you read the book because movies are so much worse. I do have a few points because I read the book and then I watched the movie. So I do have a few bonus points at the end that I'm going to talk about. But let's hop right in. So this is a book. Sorry. This is a book about 4 young boys in the early 1960s. There's Gordy, who is the writer of the book. There is, his name is Gordy LeChamp. LeChance. I don't know why I keep saying LeChamp, but I do it so much. There is Chris Chambers, one of the boys. He's normally depicted as like the rough around the edges kind of guy. There's Vern. Vern is not so smart. And there is, oh crap, what's his name? I want to say it was Tommy, but I know it's not Tommy. It starts with a T. Sorry, guys. It was Teddy. I was close. So, Teddy is kind of a sad story. Anyways, before we go any further, if you have any triggers or any kind of those things, hold on, my mom just texted. Okay, if you have any triggers or things that, you're uncomfortable with, I would click off the video now because this book is rough. And it's all about, 10-year-old kids. So, have fun. Okay, click off the video if you don't want to hear things. Okay, so now that all of the people who have issues with those kinds of things are gone, let's get into the hard stuff. So, obviously there's going to be spoilers, so be prepared for that. Let's start with the first page. The first page starts out a banger, just like any Stephen King book should. I mean, this first line, okay, let me read it to you. The most important things are the hardest things to say. They are the things you get ashamed of because words diminish them. Words shrink things that seemed limitless when they were in your head to no more than living size when they're brought out. Damn. I loved it. I was hooked from just those first 2 lines. So, these boys live in Castle Rock. I'm pretty sure it's Maine. I am pretty sure Stephen King is back at it in Maine again. So, it's in Castle Rock, and really, I'm just gonna sum it up, as if I were to go through it, every single thing with you and tell you why it's amazing, we'd be here for hours. And I will not stop gushing about this book. Only because, well, not only because it's a Stephen King book, but, like, he did so good. Sorry that this keeps moving. I'm literally at a trailer, and, like, you bump the table, and it moves. And I'm a very bouncy person, if you haven't noticed. Anyways, so he basically set it in Maine, in this tiny town where there's nothing to do. And these boys are up in a treehouse, you know, just talking, having a good time. And Vern comes running up and is like, look, there is a body of that Ray Brower kid that they've been talking about on the radio. So these kids, they take off on a trek. They're following railroad tracks. They go on this trek, and they get in all kinds of crazy trouble, and they're looking for this kid's body. Pretty much. It's a coming of age story. These kids went in like little boys and came out definitely worse off mentally. You know, it was such a heartbreaking story at times, because these kids, they didn't know that what they were getting into. You know, they were just like, we're gonna go see a body, and they didn't know that it was gonna be like mind breaking to see. They didn't realize what death does to a person, and seeing the body really just kind of shook them all up. And then there's the scene after, which I recommend, if you have not either watched Stand By Me or read the book, that you go read it or you go watch it. However you like to enjoy your media, do it, because it is such an amazing story. And I just love it. So, a few odd things that I did find, because this is a review. It's not like can't say that. It's not like just praising Stephen King for the next 5 minutes. So on page 26 to 40, it's a story by the author, Gordy LaChance. And I just didn't understand where it was coming from. I was very confused until I got through it, and the author actually explained it. But right before, on page 26, right before, they're talking about the kids, and they're talking about, like, Gordon's dream that he had, and then it just goes into this random story. Look at how thick that is. All of these pages of just this random story that I did not care about, but still read because I thought maybe. It does kind of correlate to Gordy's life, and it does explain, like, what was going on, but I just was not expecting it. And then the infamous lard-ass Hogan story. Oh my. Reading it was almost worse than when I had to watch it because I watched it with my grandma, and she gagged. I'm sorry. I just want to talk about my grandma for a second. So we're watching the movie, and we're doing it on our bed, and we're watching it, and she's just like, oh no, because he starts drinking the castor oil, and she's like, what is he doing? My grandma's a trip, that's for sure. So, anyways, so this book hits home for me, because I am an aspiring author, and Gordon LaChance, he is an author. He is exactly what I want to be. And if Stephen King being an author wasn't motivating enough for me, this kid can write, let me tell you. I mean, he's a figment of Stephen King's imagination, but you know, it's still inspiring to see somebody come from literally nothing and build themselves up and do what they want with their lives. Because really, that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to come from what we came from and do what we want to do. A few things, before I end. I know this is probably the world's crappiest review, but it's my first time, so in watching the book, or in reading the book and watching the movie, I obviously found some discrepancies. They skipped an entire part. So in the book, Gordy is sent out to go get provisions with like $2.67. Imagine being able to feed yourself on $2.67 these days. That would be fantastic. I would not be living in my parents' trailer. But so he goes to this town down a little ways away from the railroad, and he goes in there and he gets into this fight with the guy. Verbal, obviously. 10-year-olds are not fighting 40-year-old men. So he gets into this fight with the cashier. Tells him, like, you added it wrong. You're trying to jip me, bro. And they didn't have that in the movie. Like, I remember reading and just thinking, oh my gosh, Gordy is going to get chased by this 40-year-old man and pounded into the ground. And I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to see that. So, that was my main thing, really, was that they left that out. Because it was such a simple thing that they could have left. The movie really wasn't that long, but it's still fairly long. I feel like they still told the story good enough without that scene. It was just, I remember that scene so well because I cringed the whole time. But anyways, this has been my review. I hope you liked it. Click the like button and subscribe. Actually, I rather not. This is the most anxiety I've felt in a while. You guys have a wonderful day. I hope to see you soon. My next book is going to be The Lost Apothecary. It's based in the 18th century and in present day, so that should be interesting. I've only read reviews. I haven't read any, thing too big on it. Just the synopsis on the front cover, which I'm not going to read to you because that would spoil the next video. Have a good day. Peace.